I'm sure that if John Coltrane had lived past the age of 40, he would have continued to grow as a kind of spiritual and moral center to the jazz community and beyond. And musically, he could have gone anywhere, except I'm sure he wouldn't have gone backwards.
John Coltrane is about to celebrate his 95th birthday. If he had lived this long, it would probably be something that we've never even experienced. The total trajectory or arc of music would have changed. Because he's such a resounding artist that has had such a profound effect on all music, him living this long definitely would have changed music forever.
Well, I think Train would have continued to be exceptionally prolific. I think a parallel would be maybe like what Wayne Shorter's career has been like. I think he would have continued to do a tremendous amount of output. I think he would have continued to play with family members, including ones that he didn't play with. So, I think he would have played with Alice, with Ravi, maybe with Flying Lotus. And I wonder, too, whether he would have embraced social media or not. I'm thinking about Ron Carter and how amazing it's been, how he's been sharing his wisdom and his experiences. I wonder if he would have done that, or maybe would have not done that so he could just continue to practice, 10 hours a day. So anyway, that's what I think Train would have done had he continued to live. I wish he had, but I'm glad for what he's contributed to our music.
Hi, it's Michael Wolf, and as far as what John Coltrane might have accomplished had he lived past 40, I have a couple of thoughts about that. I hope he would have been able to give himself peace as a human being and live a long life, and a happy life. As a musician, perhaps he would have incorporated more world instruments, tablas and African instruments and stuff like that with his music. That's a possibility. And it's also a possibility as he matured, he might have wanted to do more ballads again. Those are just my thoughts about it. He did so much in the time that he was here, it's hard to conjecture. But we all love John Coltrane, and his contribution was just immense to our music.
How it was that God could take somebody like John from us so soon, so quickly, when it was obvious that he had so much more to give and contribute and explore and achieve. And Charlie just couldn't figure out how God could do such a thing, just when we needed John. And I suggested that maybe a jealous God would, when confronted with a mortal who was on the verge of either achieving or exceeding the measure that God had achieved through nature or whatever, maybe a jealous God would think that it was time to pull him out before he had any serious rivals walking the earth. And maybe that explains the youthful departure of so many people that have been so important to us, contributed so much, so valuable.
If John Coltrane had lived beyond his 40 years, the answer to our question, I believe, is looking at his first 40 years to realize, how does someone pack that much information, knowledge, practice, creativity, becoming a tremendous sideman, band leader, icon, figurehead? The next 40 years, we can only postulate how amazing his input and his commitment to music would have given us all.
I know one thing Coltrane would have done. Master sitarist Ravi Shankar told me that they were planning to do an album together. Sadly, Coltrane passed before that could happen. I would have loved to hear that blend of his tenor saxophone in an East Indian musical setting.
Hi, my name's Dave Pietro. I'm the Director of Jazz Studies here at New York University. And this is my saxophone. It's a Veritone Selmer Mark VI 1967 Veritone saxophone. It's the first electronic saxophone as a pickup, and goes to a wire on the side of the horn that went to an amplifier. And I found this picture of John Coltrane playing a 1967 prototype of the Veritone saxophone, and I've always wondered what would John Coltrane have done with the Veritone saxophone if he had lived longer.
Hi, my name is Billy Drummond, and I'm answering the question about John Coltrane and what he would have accomplished had he lived past the age of 40. In my view, I think he was here for just the right amount of time, spreading his message pretty much from 1955 until 1967. So for a period of about 12 years, he was an evolving artist and accomplished a lot in terms of playing the saxophone and exploring jazz music and evolving as an artist. And I think he pretty much exhausted it. And the reason why is because he was here to do just that, to give us this great gift and to learn from it, very much like Charlie Parker and perhaps Jimi Hendrix. They have a message to send and they deliver it and then they split. Anyway, that's my view. Thank you.
I have often thought about that question, wondering if John would pursue electronics or perhaps orchestral music. Speaking about John with Elvin and his work ethic, I would use Plato's quote that music is a moral law, and John would have continued growing and creating music.
Mike Richmond here. My teacher, Jimmy Garrison, used to say at our lessons that had Coltrane lived, he would have explored new forms.
I think that he couldn't help but be marked as a religious man by that, and to believe it, and to work on that aspect. Does that mean he's standing on his head, chanting Hare Krishna 4 hours? I don't know. But when you think about the music, and as Billy Drummond just said, the 12 years, nobody has done that. I mean, it's not Mozart, even Beethoven, and all those guys. I mean, this was a robbery of our life, the earth's life, the world, the way we live. So I'm not sure he would have kept playing, because it's just a period, man. That guy has covered everything. I mean, if we sat here for the next hour and just said, okay, dome, that one, number 3, number 4, we might, come up with 1 or 2 idioms or styles. I don't even know what to call it. But God, the guy did his job and deserved to, and for himself, to rest and to contemplate and to be a force for good, as he said in one of those quotes.